Hello everyone, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooklyn, and for today's video I am going to do a really fun reading vlog that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, but I just wasn't sure how to fully execute it. I think I have an idea of how I want to do this. If not, I kind of want to make this a series on my channel so we will learn as we go. But this series is going to be called Who Did It Better. I'm going to be reading books that are either turned into TV series or movies. For the two books that we have for this video, I have We Were Liars by Eve Lockhart, and this has been recently turned into a TV series. I think it just recently came out. I try to make it a thing that I don't watch movies or TV shows that have been adapted from books because I'd rather read the book first. I've learned that that's what I prefer. And then the second book that I have is The Outsider by Stephen King. I have been, and even it says it on here, now an HBO series. I've been well aware of this series for quite some time, and my cousin actually read this book and she gave me this book to read years ago, and I've just never gotten around to it, so now I have a reason to read it. The plan for this video would be to read the book, and then once I'm done reading the book, I will then watch the TV series that has been adapted based off the book, and we'll just kind of have a little chit chat about it, compare kind of what was different from the book to the show and what I would prefer as a viewer, and whether or not it's worth it reading the book or if you should just watch the show or the movie. In this case, we have two TV series and I will give you my feedback. I'm someone that definitely loves to read, obviously, but I also do love a good TV series or movies. So the first book that I will be reading for this video is We Were Liars by Eve Lockhart. I really just want to read this. I feel like I can get through this pretty quick. The font's pretty big. I don't know, it just looks like really spacey. There's only 250 pages. That is a very short book. I've been recently reading like 400-page books, and I feel like this will be very easy to get through. I hope it is. I know this was really popular in 2020 during COVID when book talk really started gaining momentum, and I've heard a lot of split reviews on this, and I've just been really on the fence for reading it. The show was recently released June 18th, so it's been out like a week and a couple days, and I haven't heard too much about it. Like, I've heard a little bit, but I've also scrolled past a lot of videos surrounding it on TikTok or any other social media that I'm on. I don't really know how it's being perceived by the public. Maybe once I'm finished with reading this, it'll be further along that more people have watched it. So this will be the first book that we read for this video. I am very excited, and without further ado, let's just get started. To be so honest, I am kind of confused. I'm literally 11 pages in and there's been about 10 different names mentioned, and I keep flipping back to like the family tree and the island layout because it tells you who's living in what house or whose house is who, but I'm very confused. So I think I need to like really read this, but so far what I'm getting at is that this is a very family-centered book, and there's going to be some issue involving a family and they're very wealthy. So that's where I'm at. I am going to continue reading, get a little further into this, and then I will come back and give you guys an update. So I've been laying out here in the lawn chair in the shade. Ben's eating a stick. Oh, he's creeping over here now. Anyways, I thought I would give you guys an update of the book. I made it to page 100. It's pretty fast paced, but it's also slow. I will say I really like the writing style of it. The family, the Sinclair's family, is just like this very wealthy family, and they all go to this island every summer, and something happened when she was 15. Now her brain's kind of all fuzzy and she can't really remember what happened or just like memories from that summer, and she has like headaches and just like a lot of head issues now. People are treating her like a specific way. It's really interesting. It's very like mysterious because you don't really know obviously what happened or how she got her injury. The whole like motto of the family is just like keep going, act like nothing's like wrong, you're perfectly fine, like put a smile on your face, that type of thing. So you see her kind of not like spiraling, but I think she's trying to like either erase that like old part of herself, but like also still trying to remember what happened that summer and how she got hurt, and it's just conflicting with her mom and like the family's ideology of just like acting like everything's okay, so I think that's like where her internal struggle is. I'm enjoying it. It's not as like suspenseful or thrilling as I thought it would be, so I am really curious to see like in the show if there's like a big, I wonder if there's like a big plot twist at the end. That's like I think my biggest thing. We still have 155 pages to go, so we shall see what happens in those pages. Book and I have my breakfast here, so I'm gonna eat. I just want to like announce that I'm starting the show. I believe it's on Prime Video, so I'm gonna go on Prime. We're gonna start this, you guys. I'm gonna go, like, after I finish eating, I'm gonna go outside and talk to you more about the book. I am absolutely gagged, but I just want to let you know that I am starting the show. Time for a wrap up of We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I'm gonna tell you guys everything I wrote on my Goodreads because I feel like I was able to carefully put my thoughts into one place. First off, I ended up rating this book 4.25 stars. After looking, I did look at the Goodreads reviews from other people, and I'm very shocked because I knew there was a lot of like an imbalance between whether people liked it or disliked it, and I'm really shocked by like the amount of hate this book has. And a lot of the repeating things that I saw for this book was that the writing was really bad and that it was like really obvious. The main character was insufferable, the characters were kind of stupid, and my opinions were like completely the opposite of all those. I felt that I was really intrigued throughout the whole book, and I think the beginning is very slow paced, but the book is also only 250 pages. Like, this thing is like very short and a lot happens in those small amount of time. I really enjoyed the characters, and I enjoyed seeing how wealth and greed and stuff can negatively damage families or like impact people who are going through grief or trauma. And so I was just interested in like that lifestyle, because I think a lot of the story was just like seeing it through the eyes of our main character and how she's trying to navigate it. The main character is also unreliable. Like, we have an unreliable narrator in some sense. She's trying to solve stuff and we're trying to solve it with her, but in some sense she knows the truth, she just doesn't, she's not willing to accept it, I think, because it's been suppressed from other people in her family. I did feel it was slow paced in the beginning for sure, but then as each part kind of picked up, we were learning more with her. So it's really just emphasis that we are living in the head of our narrator and our main character. So I really like that aspect of it. I didn't think it was that terrible. I also really enjoyed the writing. I feel like I've never seen a writing style like this, and I've seen a lot of people say they hated the writing. I personally really enjoyed it. I think it was really like poetic and beautiful, very atmospheric, and you can picture the island that they were staying on for the summer, and just like the way she would explain, like she would have headaches in the book, and it's saying like she had a migraine, she would explain the headaches as like an axe hitting her head, like that like splitting feeling. So I think like that was very like details, like vivid imagery, and I really enjoyed that. So it's, a lot of it's gonna be out of context because I obviously don't want to like spoil anything with you guys, but it just said, so many stars, it seemed like a celebration, a grand illicit party the galaxy was holding after the humans had been put to bed. That's just a really pretty way to put it. And then I also found a typo. Hey, real quick, I've never found a typo before in a book, and it was like something about a bakery window and it said bakery widow. So I don't know if it's just this copy of the book and they corrected it, but I lied in my darkened room, scavenger birds pecking at the oozing matter that leaks from my crushed skull. Obviously her skull is not crushed and there's not matter leaking out of it, but that's just her way of describing it. Or she used like the metaphor of like an axe hitting her head and it's like dull. And I think it's just like really pretty, and I really enjoyed the writing. The writing was also really messy in the sense that it was just all over the place and we weren't really getting the full story of stuff, but we were like, I don't know, it was kind of hard to follow in the beginning. We saw that. I was really confused like who everyone was, but like after a while I kind of picked up on everyone and how everyone's related. And then there's like the maps and stuff in the front so you can like see the beach island that they're living on. So So the ending, you guys, I went into this book blind. I think you should go into this book blind as well. The ending shocked me, and I was also listening to a playlist that is really sad. That like part 5 of the book, Wherever the Truth, the next page is like right there. I'm like, you saw my reaction. I was like so gagged by it, but I wanted to cry. Basically, like if I could have cried for sure, but it's also early in the morning. I don't really feel like doing that right now. That's what really made the book for me personally. Okay, dumpster truck is gone, sorry. It caught me off guard. You think you have an idea of what happened or what was done, but it's completely opposite of what you think. So whatever you're thinking is just not accurate. And that really got me. And then she just started talking about more in detail about everything that's happened and how that trickled down and affects everyone. That made me sad. That really broke my heart. The music I was listening to also added to that emotion. Overall, I thought it was a really good book. I would definitely, even before watching the show, I would 100% say read the book first and then watch the show. I just think there's more of a shock factor. Maybe well, this might change once I watch the show, but there's more of a shock factor when it comes to reading, because you're so invested and you're like physically holding the book and you're like really invested in these characters. I thought it would be like a 3.75, so I'm thoroughly surprised by this. I have finished watching We Were Liars. You guys, I cried the whole last episode. Reading the book added to that, but I want to give you guys my thoughts on the TV series before I kind of compare the two of them. Just like a little background too, I took a couple classes in cinematography. I have a degree in communications, but I did take a semester of like cinematography, so I do love a good movie and like all that stuff. So I'm not saying like I'm a professional at this stuff, but like I feel like I pick up on things more than maybe the average viewer. Who knows? Anyways, so I will say I really did like the like cinematography and the style that the show was shot in. I really think this matched, I mentioned when I was giving my review of the book, the vivid imagery, that writing style, and just the way it was done, because obviously I think in writing it's easier to be a little more descriptive and stuff, but in the show you really rely on what's in the shot to convey the message you're trying to give. Obviously, because in the book we were just following our main character, and then there's side characters and stuff that are important to the story, but we don't have a lot of side plots for those characters. So in the show we definitely get to see more sides to each character, and they develop storylines for each of them. I like the book because of how much quicker it was, and I think it made it more emotional because, I don't know, I guess you could argue that knowing deeper intel of the other characters can make the ending more emotional, but for me I think the book was just more emotional because we were living and seeing it through one character and processing all the events with her as she was discovering it too. So I definitely like that aspect more of the book compared to the TV show, but I did like how we developed further plot lines for other characters and gave them a little bit more depth. Yeah, I really did enjoy the TV series. I did sometimes feel it was dragged out. Some things were unnecessarily added and they were just put in there because it's TV and they need to make it like a little longer and more interesting so the viewers want to watch more. So yeah, I'm not gonna rank the TV show because I don't know, I'm not like, that's not what I do. I also will say the actors for this were amazing. I really like the casting style of it. I think it matched the description of the book well. They had a lot of similar quotes and stuff from the book, so I would say these are pretty similar. Also, just to mention, they played Saturn by Sleeping at Last in I think the final episode twice. That song makes me so emo. I have like deep lore with that song. I remember listening to it for the first time in like middle school and I was so emo listening to it, and then when that started playing I was like, oh, I'm gonna start bawling my eyes out, and they did it twice, so I thought I'd add that. They definitely have good music in the show. I'm actually gonna make a whole new category for this because I definitely think there are some shows and books that are better than the others. So for example, Normal People, read the book, didn't really like it, but I love the TV show, so I would recommend the TV show. So for this, I would say I recommend both, and that is a middle category that I will be adding to this series. So either the book or the TV show are great, but read the book first and then watch the TV show. Moving on to our next book, Stephen King, The Outsider. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I have been wanting to read this for a couple of years now. I don't want to spoil it for myself, but I do want to see how many pages. 560. So I'm hoping this doesn't take me long to read. I have a feeling the TV show might take me a while. So to summarize what this book is, basically there is a murder of an 11-year-old boy, and it is pinned on this man who is very well known in the community. People are surprised by him not being such a good guy, and more stuff's revealed. I don't know, obviously I'm sure there's some big twist because it's Stephen King and he's like the OG of writing these types of stories. My first Stephen King book, might I add. I'm very excited. I do have another one of his books called Insomnia. I'm really excited to read this, and I will update you guys. I don't know. I'll let you guys know how it reads, like speed-wise for me. The pages do look like really small, but I feel like I'll be able to read this fast. You know, some books have like really small print, but you don't notice it, and then some books are like really small and you're like, this is never ending. I'm hoping that's not the case for this. Anyways, I've been rambling. I will let you guys know once I've gotten into this book and my thoughts. So I've been sitting outside for a bit. I'm very comfortable right now. I've just been reading literally all day after I finished watching We Were Liars because I really want to get into this. And I am currently on page 146 and I'm going to bookmark it because Love Island is on and I need to get dinner and eat. I just wanted to update you guys like where I'm at and stuff. But so far I've gotten to the point on the back where they've pinned it on Terry Maitland, if that's how you pronounce his name, and they're accusing him of killing the little boy and stuff. And first of all, the descriptors of that death was horrific and disgusting, and I haven't read a book like that where it's like so graphic, and that like made me really upset. So I don't know, I'm actually very intrigued of who could have done it, because right now it doesn't look like it's the guy who they're framing, and I don't want to give anything away, but it's like there's no way it's him, but they have like DNA evidence and stuff. So I'm just curious to see how that all pans out, but they're just like waiting for the evidence, so like we're also waiting for it, which is annoying. I'm enjoying it, and I think I can get through this book pretty fast. Like if I had to sit down and read it, like I'm already, like I said, 146 pages in. It's like 500 and something pages. I don't feel like I'm like trying to rush it in any way. Hopping on here real quick to talk about my book. I'm reading it while I eat my dinner. So much has happened, and like not really though, but I'm on page 204, so I'm like kind of almost halfway. The main guy, the sheriff, Ralph, his wife is saying, she's like, don't laugh at me if I ask you this question, but what if the only answer is kind of out of context, but what if the only answer to the riddle of the two Terrys is supernatural? And earlier, other characters saw something in a dream, and like it was emphasized that it had straw eyes or something like that, like really creepy. I kind of hope it doesn't go supernatural, but I think that'd be really interesting if it did, because there's no other explanation as to like who did this. So I'm really enjoying it right now. I just realized something, because the boy's death was so gruesome. It makes sense, like one of the details from the crime scene for what they're like talking about right now. It makes so much sense now. Hi friends, I ordered this mic off of Amazon during Prime Week, and I am so excited to film with it. I hope the audio is better now that I have it, and maybe the talking clips are crisper and you like this. If you don't, I'm sorry, but this is my new personality. Today I actually had gum surgery, so the top of my mouth and this side of my face, like she's just not in commission right now. I'm supposed to be resting for the first 2 days after the surgery, but I have no pain, which is great. So I figured I would spend some time outside. It's really nice out. I've spent majority of my day inside. I want to finish this book. This book is taking me a little longer. I've had a lot of events happen, family events, and just spending time with friends and family. So I'm back now, and I'm going to try and finish this book in the next day or so. It's getting really good. It's getting really interesting. I am currently on, he does like, I don't even know what you call these, but he does little jumps, and I'm currently on the part where it says visits. I started reading this at night and I had to stop because I got really scared. I'm currently on page 333. Stuff is starting to connect, so I am really excited to finish this and see where he takes this. I'm going to be honest, I feel like especially with the series that I'm starting, there are definitely some books where I'm more excited to read the book and then watch the show. But for this one, I think I've wanted to watch the show for so long. Reading it's interesting, but I'm very excited to see how they pull this off and who the characters. He has the zoomies right now. I'm just really excited to see how the characters are portrayed in the show. All right, that's the last of my update for now. I'm going to power read this. All right, I'll get back to you guys once I've found a part that's interesting I want to talk about, or I'm finished with the book. I look so bad because my face is so puffy from my gum surgery. Anyways, ignore that if you can. I might be speaking to you guys like this way because I can't. Anyways, I finished reading The Outsider by Stephen King today. I spent basically all morning finishing it, reading it, and I stayed up a good chunk last night reading it. I ended up giving this 3 stars. It is not my favorite book. And this was like I said, the first Stephen King book I've read from him, but I'm well aware of his work. I've watched it, obviously, like everyone has, and I knew like his books were scary or could be thrilling. I just had higher expectations for this book, if I'm being so honest. I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, obviously I thought it would have just been like a thriller murder mystery, but it's Stephen King, so of course there's going to be some supernatural aspect to it. I don't know, it kind of fell flat for me. Like the first half of the book, you didn't even get the idea that it could have been supernatural, and then the end of it all just happened very fast. Everything worked out too good. I don't know, it was just very flat for me. The ending was nice, but it was just like, now what, So I don't know. I am very excited to watch the TV show. I promised my mom we would watch it together because when I started reading this, I told her that it was an HBO series and she was so excited to watch it. And I told her, I was like, you can't watch it until I'm done reading this book, because knowing her, she'd spoil it for me or something, because I thought it would be like more interesting or something bigger would happen, but nothing really did. And maybe it's just like a one-time thing for him, because I know his books are really good. I'm sure it's just hit or miss for some of them, I guess, in terms of taste of the reader. I am going to try and binge the show tonight, and then I'll give you guys my feedback. I'll probably watch it with my mom. I'm definitely more excited to watch the show because I'm just really curious to see how they execute the whole plot. I now have a bruise on my cheek. Beyond that stuff, I have finally finished the TV series The Outsider on HBO. I'm here to give you my thoughts and opinions of who did it better, the book or the TV show. First to start, this TV show took my mother and I. So it took us like 4 days to finish, and I feel like it's 4 days too long. There were 10 episodes in this series. Each were about an hour long, and I feel like that's basically 10 hours, and that's probably the amount of time it would take someone to read this, maybe a little more. I don't know if it was because I read the book and I felt antsy wanting to finish the show because I already kind of knew what was going to happen, but I just could not get through it. I was so bored throughout the whole TV show. Previous, when I was reading, I was like, I'm so excited to see how they execute this and stuff, and they didn't do that good of a job. I mean, granted, it is like special effects and stuff for the things that happen in this story, so it's kind of hard to execute that depending on the budget of the film. Some things that I will say that I really did like about the TV series is the casting that they had for it. I think all the actors were really good in their roles and they executed the characters really well. I also liked the cinematography of it. I think it was really beautiful, and the angles and the way they like told the story. It was really interesting. I think it fit the theme of the story, the eerie kind of small town murder happened, no one really knows what's happening type of like vibe. If you've seen it, you kind of know what I'm talking about with that. Beyond that, I just felt like it was super slow, and they also added a lot of extra plots to characters that I think were unnecessary personally, and I think that kind of strayed from the story. They also changed the setting of the story. This takes place in Oklahoma, and in the show it took place in Georgia, and then there was another part where they went to Texas in the book, and then they went to Tennessee in the TV show, which is fine because obviously I think there's probably copyright things that they can't follow a book exactly how it is. I don't know, because it's like a book adaptation, so it's not going to be exactly the same. I just had higher expectations, and maybe I was just hyping it up because I wanted to watch the show for so long, but it was just really slow and dragged out, and it just felt like it was never ending. And once we reached the final episode, I was like, finally. The way they executed the like outsider was just very subpar. In this instance, I would say that the book did it better than the TV show. I just think with a story like this, Stephen King jumped to so many different perspectives while he was telling it, and we got to see inside the minds of many different characters who are involved, and we got to see their internal thoughts. Obviously, once again, in a TV show it's kind of hard to show what a character's thinking. You just kind of have to really show that in the actions and the things that you include in the shot. I definitely would recommend it over the TV show. Yes, the TV show is good, however, I just think people might get bored of it really fast. I tried looking on Reddit to see other people's opinions. I've seen people say they really enjoyed it, so I think it's just kind of you choose type of thing of what you enjoy. But if you're a reader, I would definitely recommend reading the book and maybe not bothering with the TV show. That is all I have to say about The Outsider and who did it better for that book. So that is all I have for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to my thoughts and opinions of who did it better, the book or the TV show. I'm really excited to continue this series, especially with movies. I feel like I'll be able to enjoy movies faster than I will TV shows, because TV shows take a while to finish, and I think a movie, obviously, it's like 1 to 2 hours. Hopefully I'll find more books where there are more movies and stuff, but I'm so excited to continue this series and just continue giving my opinions on who did it better. If you guys like this video, please let me know in the comments down below. If there are any other videos you'd like to see from me, let me know if you would rather read the book or watch the show, or what your opinions are. If you have read either of these books, or if you have some books you'd recommend for me to read for another video in this series. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye.